What is up, my bodyweight warriors? Welcome back to another video and another training vlog. It's been a while since we've done one of these. We've got that whole road to one-arm handstand series going on, covering the handstand stuff, but I've kind of been quiet and left you a little bit in the dark when it comes to just my other training, my other goals. Believe it or not, I do actually have something other than handstands that I actually do with training. So that is kind of the plan for today's training vlog. I just want to share with you basically an update on where the training is at for my other goals, what those other goals are, if you don't know already, and also part of that is going to be today's training session, which is going to be a handstand session, obviously, and then a straight arm strength session looking at the planche and the front lever. It should be interesting for you, definitely going to be a struggle for me. Right, so in terms of goals at the moment, I've kind of kept things pretty simple. Obviously, we have the overarching goal of the one-arm handstand, the eternal struggle, the endless grind, the thing that's kind of consumed my training for the past 18 months now. Far too long, but it's closing in, it's getting closer. There will be a little bit of that today. It's hard not to have some of that in there, but we're going to focus the majority of it on the strength training, the calisthenics. So underneath that main handstand goal, we have the rest of them, which actually is relatively few. I'm trying to keep things a lot more simple lately because I found definitely in the past, and if you have too many goals, you're just not going to make good progress in any of them. You just make pretty slow progress in all of them. So I prefer to use the concept of free gains, and that is the concept that if you have a good base, a good general level of conditioning, you'll find it easy to pick up skills when you go to learn them. So if you keep your strength training broad, your ability to learn skills becomes much wider. This is the whole concept of Bodyweight Basics, my strength training, like bodyweight program. I'll link it down below. The main other goals are essentially the straddle planche, which is there or thereabouts. I'd like a 5-second hold, but I'd like it to be much flatter. Currently it's a bit piked, partly due to the fact I'm 6'4", 191 centimeters, 90 kilos, 200 pounds, just a big guy. It's a hard goal for me. It's always been really hard. It's taken me 4.5 years to get to this point. And then the other goal, which is actually a newer goal, is the 90-degree push-up. And that's because the handstand push-up, again, something that's been tough for me, but something that's feeling strong at the moment. And I feel like with the planche strength that I've already got, the handstand push-up, I probably can connect the two and get a 90-degree push-up relatively easy. And that's basically it for the goals-wise. I don't really have much other goals than that. But you know, that's just me. I'd love to hear what your goals are. What are you working on at the moment when it comes to strength training? It can be bodyweight related, it can be, you know, normal training related, whatever it is. Just let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. But it is now just after 12 o'clock. I haven't eaten yet today. I need to grab something before I go and train. Let's make some food. Right, so we've just got some leftovers here, tacos. I had tacos last night with my girlfriend. There's some leftover, the shells anyway, they aren't particularly the healthiest of things. Rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, not the best of things, but equally, they just taste amazing. A little bit of carbohydrates, decent amount of proteins, a lot of mince, a lot of salmon in this one, and then obviously some cheese and sour cream and all sorts of things to get on top. Hopefully plenty of calories to support today's 3-hour bloody session that we've got to go and do. So I'm going to briefly skim over some of the handstand stuff just because, I don't know, some people might find it useful. I'm still working quite a bit on the basics, probably something I don't necessarily share too much on the road to one-arm handstand stuff. One of the things I like to work on is entries. This is like a 5-piece entry, working from normal kick up to tuck to straddle to pike, which was an unexpected grind. I kind of mucked that one up, but I like to make sure all those sort of entries are there. I also work a lot just on straight, on head in, on tuck, and all of this is like a little bit of a prep for one-arm handstand, just to make sure that like base level is there exactly the same as with any other training. If we're doing straddle planche, front lever, we still need to be strong with our push-ups and our pull-ups to make sure we have enough pulling and pushing strength. Today's session wasn't actually the best of sessions. I was pretty tired. I didn't sleep well. My Oura ring, the one that sort of measures my readiness, measures my heart rate, said I technically needed to recover, but I knew I had a rest day afterwards, so I was just going to push through basically. I expected to be a little bit worse at handstands. I expected to be a little bit weaker as well, which is sort of true for the rest of it. But yeah, in general, just a very brief update is it's about where it was last time I spoke to you. Getting holds here and there, things are closing down. It's now just sort of a matter of time and not getting injured basically. Planche stuff I've been working on at the moment is primarily to do with straight arm pressing. So I've been doing some things like tuck planche presses, and currently at the moment I'm focusing on some overloading of the movement pattern. So I'm just going on sort of progressions that I can't quite hold, but I'm doing slow negatives with a little bit of a pause at the bottom in those positions. So for me at the moment that's a straddle planche, but having a pike at the hip, so the pike allows you to adjust how long the lever is and how hard it is. And then basically when I get to the bottom, I'm trying to kind of even out and straighten out those hips, as I mentioned, as part of the goal. This is just an example of last week, kind of just sharing that I was much stronger than I was this week. But this is all just built off a base of general conditioning I've been doing probably the last 6 to 8 months, specific planche conditioning, nothing to do with the fancy stuff. You're seeing the fancy stuff now because I've done that for the past 6 months. After this, I gave a 90-degree push-up go, which actually I think was pretty close in straddle. I think I actually could get this if I got the movement down a little bit. I just need to practice it and figure it out. I'm pretty sure that I can get the 90-degree push-up quite easily. This was then followed by some front lever work. I was just working on some sort of sub-maximal isometrics. So I was working straddle here, going for like 10 to 12 second holds. You'll notice again, in the same way as the planche, I'm using the piking of the hips to adjust the intensity. This is exactly the same as if you were doing 40 kilos or 50 kilos on your weighted chin-ups, for example. So just to make sure I could hit those 10 to 12 seconds, I would begin to pike the hips, as you'll see probably more evidently in this clip as it gets to the end of those sets, just to make it easier and make sure I hit the reps. After those 2 main exercises, the rest was kind of this accessory work. I've been using the Maltese press, so this is actually a popular one among gymnasts. It's really great because you can train the planche at a lower intensity. It's the same pattern, but it helps to sort of work a little bit of a higher rep range, something that you wouldn't be able to do with just the bodyweight variants. And it then helps because you're doing that higher rep range, you get a little bit of hypertrophy, which is useful for strength, a little bit more volume, and then also you get some of that connective tissue conditioning, some over the bicep tendon, over the elbow, and even into the shoulder. And these things often get pretty beaten up when you're doing planche training, when you're doing straight arm stuff, especially if you're new to it. So this sort of thing can just help condition that and keep those shoulders, biceps a little bit healthier, so that we can continue to train, because the best way to make no progress is to get injured basically. The next exercise in this pair was some simple decline flies, standard bodybuilding stuff. There's definitely a place for it. I think I've mentioned maybe in previous videos, one of the issues that I struggle with planche is that I can't activate my pec enough. I can't squeeze and kind of create tension in the pec, so I'm kind of working on, again, just building that up and getting stronger there. The type of flies I'm doing here are actually Poliquin style, so there's like an element of rotation to the internal position and at the bottom, and then kind of back up, externally rotating to the top. So I'm not doing flies badly. This is an intentional way of doing flies. Another reason I'm doing flies is that it tends to help with my shoulders. It's the one thing. I've had a bit of bicep tendonitis here and there from doing the one-arm handstands, and if I do chest flies, it seems to help clear that up. So that's kind of why they're still in there. The third and final accessory movement is the reverse fly. So just kind of working the backside. There's been a lot of pushing in today's workout, so just to balance the shoulders, work a little bit of the lower traps as well, focusing on some rear delt flies. Again, not much weight, nice high reps, get a good bit of pump, good bit of blood flow to those lower traps, and still hypertrophy is a little bit of a goal here as well. But that's kind of basically it, coming to the end of the straight arm session. This session was like 2.5 to 3 hours in total of handstands and upper body strength. I was pretty smashed afterwards, but such it is when you're doing kind of a lot of handstands. Handstands just take time, as annoying as that is. But that is basically the workout, guys. I can't unfortunately share the full workout with you because it is not written by me, it is written by Emmett, who I've been getting coaching off for the past 6 or 8 months now. But I can give you kind of an overview and show you what I'm doing, and you can take these movements if you are working at these sort of goals and have a play at them, see if they work for you. Speaking of which, if you are going to give any of these a go, or if you're going to answer the question that I asked you at the beginning of this video, what are your goals at the moment? What are you working towards? Just let me know in the comment section down below. Watch that, you can also hit that thumbs up button, support the channel, and right next to it is that subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe, which we all know you really do. But that has been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week, and